All right. People are still coming in. Let me wait for 30 seconds or 20.
Mr. Ture,
Yes.
where are we supposed to submit our assignments?
Did, did I give you any assignment? Okay, you mean if I, when I, okay, if I,
No, Mr. Ture,
yes.
you did not. You said we should try, then when we come back to class, you are going to solve it together.
Oh, no, no. So, no, let us, who was asking the assignment? I, what was even the assignment?
It's you said you asked us to those were it was an old assignment, but you didn't tell us where to submit it.
It was
You
about
said
what?
if there's a shift in supply,
Okay.
how yes, how it would like affect the equilibrium.
Okay. Uh, so I gave it out as an assignment, right?
Yes, you solved the first one in the
I asked
decrease
you
in
to do the second
supply.
one. So
Yeah, the decrease
how
in
many of you did it? Students don't like assignment. Why the silence?
I did not.
Huh? So,
Mr. T,
okay.
Mr. Ture,
Sorry.
I think
the
you
other
stopped
one
it.
was about tax. The other one is about tax when the government impose tax on the commodity supplied or demanded. So you said we should try. When we come back to class, we are going to solve it together.
Okay, this is what we will do. I guess everyone is having the question, right?
Yes, yes.
All right.
No.
I'm gonna give you up to uh, you will submit it. There is Mr. I don't know. There's this is it Ahmad or Ahmed, something like that, at the campus. So I'm gonna communicate it to the class rep where you are going to submit it. But make sure that before Tuesday you solve it, because I can come at any time and take submit on Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm giving you another extra week. And when I don't take
I don't
assignment.
have no.
Sorry.
So I don't have the question.
Were you not in class last time?
No, I was not in class last time.
Okay, try to get it from someone. I'm sure one of your friends, or someone, can someone share it in the group after this class? Who
I
will,
think that is more favorable.
sorry?
I mean, that is more, how do you call it, favorable for all of us, those who don't have the question. You can send it on the WhatsApp group we have it there.
Yeah. So someone, we will work on that. I will work with my class rep. Something I didn't even know I gave an assignment. Too much work to do. So we will talk about that later, but it will be submitted. So if you do it, fine, keep it. If you don't do it, find a way to do it before Tuesday. All right. So I will communicate to you people through the class rep later. All right. So let's continue what we were doing. Uh, we have two markets, as I said. We have good one. So normally the way I like to solve this is I want to separate them to see that these are two different goods, but obviously they have connection through the impact of one price on another good, the quantity of another good. So as I said, in equilibrium, we did our principles of economics. Here, the quantity demanded of good one should be equal to the quantity supplied of this good one. So instead of using demand or supply, we just represent all of them as equilibrium quantity of good one. So we know our quantity demanded. You have the notes already. So the quantity demanded is 10 minus 2P1 plus P2 equals to the quantity supplied. Can someone read it for me? It was what? Minus 3, right?
Minus 3 plus 2P1.
2P1. Okay, great. Thank you. So we have this. So here also we will do the similar thing, but let's just focus on good one or market one. After then we can go to good two or market two. So you will see that, this is an equation, obviously. We have the left side, we have equals to sign here. It's an equation. So with equation, we know how to solve it. We move the variable on one side of the equation. So normally I try to put the variable on the left-hand side of the equation. So this will stay, you understand? So if you checked it, this is a constant, this is a constant. So let's move them to the right, the constant, while the variables go to the left. So if we are doing that, then we will have what? Minus 2P1 plus P2. This is a variable, so it has to come here. Remember, the sign is plus, so it will change into minus. Algebra, high school, P1. Then equals to minus 3. This is plus 10. If it's coming here, it will be minus 10. So we looked at here also, if we have variable, but they are different variable. This is P1, this is P1. So we add the like terms, the variable that are like terms, like this one and this one, they are like terms. So we add them. So remember, minus 2P1 minus 2P1, it will give you what? Minus 4 P1. Then we have our plus P2. And minus 3 minus 10 will give you minus 30, minus how much? 13. 12 minus 13. So before, if you looked at it in a good one, we have two equations, that is demand and supply. But now we ended up with what? Only one equation. So this, we call it our equation 1. So we are going to do similar thing for good 2. So we can say that in equilibrium, you understand? So this is equilibrium point. So here also, we can say in equilibrium, in short, I will write in short. So in equilibrium, what happens, we will see that the quantity demanded of good 2 should be equals to the quantity supplied of good 2, but we can represent two of them as what? Equilibrium quantity for good 2. So we know that for good 2, the quantity demanded is nothing but what? 5 plus 2P1, right? Minus 2P2 equals to, those who have seen higher mathematics, you can also use matrix algebra to solve this. But I don't think we will have time. Time will never permit us. It's a short trimester. We could have do a lot of works. But anyways, this is what we have. So let's deal with it. So now is what we do here is similar to what we are going to do here. So if you looked at it, these are constants. We collect them on the right-hand side of the equation while we bring this here. So if we do that, we will have 2p1 minus 2p2 minus 3p2. This is plus, is coming here, it will be minus. So it's equals to minus 2, then minus 5. So this and this, they are like terms. That is P2 and here. So what we do, minus 2P2 minus 3P2, it will be minus 5P2. So at the end of the day, we'll have 2P1 minus 5P2, then equals to minus 7. So we have also from two equations, then we have our second equation. So remember, normally if P2 has no impact on good one, this will be 0. So we will only have this and this that we solve. But because P2 has an impact in this market, is still there. So if the relationship, they don't have impact on each other, this will be 0. And here also this will be 0. So we can only solve for P2, but they affect each other. So now, if you look at this, this is an equation 1. Let's call this equation 1. And let's call this equation 2. So this is what we will bring together now to solve. You understand? Now, what do we have now? We have simultaneous equation. And we have looked at how we can solve simultaneous equation or linear system of equation. So these are the two things that we will use to solve this problem. So we have simultaneous equation. If we solve it, we will know our P1 and P2. So if we know our P1 and P2, we can substitute in one of the equations to find out quantities for both good 1 and good 2. Do you have any question, comment, or anything you want to add?
Mr. Ture?
Yes.
Okay. If it was not, for instance, this two market model.
Yeah.
For instance, for good one.
Uh-huh.
The price of good two, if it did not have any impact,
yeah,
on good one, then
Uh-huh.
that means that we would have calculated our equilibrium price straight away, then determine our equilibrium quantity.
Exactly. It would have been like this because this is 0. So
Yes,
you'll have
yes,
something
yes.
like this. So here
Yes,
also the
yes.
same thing. This 2P1 will disappear. We'll only have P2 over this. But because they are how to call it, substitute good, we have to calculate the equilibrium, taking consideration on how the price of the order affect the order.
Okay.
What we were doing before was only this kind, but this now we are looking at a situation where we're okay, if we want to buy, if I go to the market, before you buy, how to call it, before you buy fish, you want to know the price of meat. So that is affecting your demand for fish.
Okay.
You understand? So when you go, you said,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
you go to, I want to buy the meat. That's the quantity of meat. You understand? But you will also consider the price of fish. So your decision to buy meat is being influenced by the price of fish.
Okay.
But if you are someone who doesn't eat meat, you are vegetarian, let's say not vegetarian, but you don't eat meat, so you don't care about the price of meat, then you will only have a single commodity market, model.
Okay.
So this is how it is. But you can see that what we are trying to do here, we are representing the behavior of a buyer in a market through numbers, through mathematics, through equations. So how we behave in the market, we are trying to represent it in numbers. That's it. That's what we are doing here. We look at a typical buyer when he goes to the market or she goes to the market, how they behave. So we try to model that through equation. This is what we are doing here. Okay, if there's no other question, we can move ahead. let's keep asking questions, and that's the only way we can push even a body of knowledge. Okay, so we have this. So we have to bring this equation 1 and 2 together, then, so that we can have a system of linear equation, or simultaneous equation. Then we solve it. So if we do that, you have two. We bring them together. Now we bring good 1 and good 2 together. Now we are not looking at them in isolation. Here we focus on 1, but now that we want to know what is P2 and P1, we cannot solve this. We have to look at the markets in totality. We have to bring them together. So if we bring them together, what we will have from market 1 or from good 1, we have this situation whereby 4 P1 plus P2 equals to minus 13. So in market 2, we have a situation like, what was our equation? 2P1 minus 5P2 equals to minus 7. So now this is our equation 1 and equation 2. So this is something we did before. And if we want to solve this, what are the methods that are available?
We can substitute, we can eliminate.
That's true. We can substitute, we can eliminate. So those who have seen linear algebra, they can use matrix as well. But we are not going to do that here. We either use substitution or elimination method. So the choice depends on you, unless I want to restrict you and that, but it's good to know both methods, which are very, very easy. We can use substitution or elimination. So to solve this, you have a choice of, you can substitute or eliminate. So let's use elimination method. Algebra is normally a problem for many people. So there are many ways of even to eliminate this. I can just decide to match, find a number, multiply by this, and 2 could be possibility. I multiply everything here by 2, then add, and this will eliminate. But normally what I have seen in schools from high school, what they normally do, they multiply the coefficients. So I will just follow that tradition and do that so that some people can relate. It's math. There are thousands of ways that even myself don't know some of the methods. What is important that we will arrive at the same answer. All right. So to solve this, what you have to do first, remember we are using elimination. We want to eliminate one of the variables. So I want to eliminate the variable P1. So what I will do, I will take this, the coefficient of this P1, and multiply it with this entire equation, equation 1. And take this coefficient of equation 1 and multiply it by equation 2. So just watch out if you don't understand what I was trying to say. So I'm doing the practical of what I said. So minus 4P1 plus P2 equals to minus 13. Remember, this is our equation 1. So this equation 1, I will multiply it by the coefficient of the coefficient of P1 in equation 2. So this 2 is this one. We use 2 because we want to eliminate P. So here also, equation 2, I will multiply it by the coefficient of P1 in equation 1. So we will have 2P1 minus 5P2 equals to minus 7. This is our equation 2, this one, but we multiply it by the coefficient here, minus 4. So if we do that, first one, this will be 2 times minus 4. That will give us minus 8P1. 2 times P2, it will be plus 2P2 equals to minus 13 times 2, it will give us minus 26. So we do similar thing for here. This will be minus 8 P1. If you don't understand, please draw my attention back. So minus and minus, minus times minus is plus. Algebra. Then 4 times 5, that will give us 20 P2. Substitution is also easier. If you prefer that, you can also go with it.
28.
So we will have 28.
28.
So 28. So now the goal here is to eliminate, remember, P1. So we have 8, 8. This is minus 8 P1, right? We also have minus 8 P1. So the question is, which sign should we introduce here so that we can make this to 0? Should it be plus or minus? This is always a problem. Someone say what? Minus. Any other? Should it be plus or minus? Someone said minus.
Minus.
People said minus.
Minus.
Exactly. So
Maybe
here
it's a
it's
minus sign, yeah.
minus, so that minus and minus, it will turn into plus. You know, that one I cannot teach it here. That one is so basic. So this is 8 plus 1. This will give us 0. So if you take your calculator, 8 minus 8 plus 8 will give you 0. So we need to introduce what? Minus. So if we do that here, this will become 0. This will cancel. So what we will have here, so what we will have here, this will cancel.
18.
This will be 0. Then we will have negative 18. This will be minus 18 E2. Then equals to 50 something, right? 54.
Negative 64.
Exactly. But remember, our
Negative
goal,
64.
is it 64 or 54?
4. Negative 64.
It's 54.
It's
Oh,
54.
sorry. 54. Yeah, 54, yeah.
All right. So we have this, but remember our goal is to find this. So in mathematics, you just divide everything by negative 18, not so that P can stand alone, or to make P the subject of the formula. So continuing here, so we will have minus 18. I don't like to skip steps because people are coming from different background. We could, it could have been like 1 or 2 steps, we finish it, but I don't want to skip any step for the benefit of others. Minus 18. So we cancel this, we cancel this. So this will cancel, this will cancel. So at the end of the day, 18 goes into 54. That will be 3. That will be 3 times. So our P2 rather, will be equals to 3. So we have this. So it's easy to find our, how to call it, our P2. It's very, very easy. So to find P2, we can use either this formula or this formula to find out. Because we know P2 now, we know that P2 is what?
3.
It's we hello guys, just leave me 5 seconds. I'll be back. All right, sorry about that. Okay, let's continue. We have calculated our P2, and remember this is the equilibrium. It's not any ordinary price. The equilibrium price for good 2. So to find the equilibrium price for good 1, you can either use equation 1 or equation 2. But I prefer to use equation 2 because normally I don't like to deal with negative numbers. So to find P1, the equilibrium price for P1, so we can use equation 2, which is 2 P1 minus 5 P2, I think is equals to minus 7, right? Minus 7. Yeah. So, but we know our P2 already, not so. So this P2 is known, and we know that P2 is 3. So we substitute 3 into here. So at the end of the day, we will have 2 times P1 minus 5 times P2, and our P2 is what? 3, then equals to minus 7. And our P21 will be 15 equals to minus 7. So obviously we collect the constant to the right-hand side of the equation. This will be 7 plus 15. So what we will have is 8, 2P1 equals to 8. And as I always say, the goal, our horn, is to find this. And to have that, we divide both sides by 2. Then our P1 will be equals to 4, right?
Yes.
So we know our P1, P2, but remember the question asks us to find equilibrium price and the quantity. Now we know the prices, both equilibrium prices, but the quantity is yet to be known, not sure. Yeah. So we go on and calculate that. So to calculate the equilibrium quantity, simple, we take one of the equations and we just substitute. You understand? We take one of the equations and substitute. So the original equation, remember these new ones, there is no quantity. So the original equations is either this. Yes. Let's mute our mics. You are disturbing your colleagues. Please, if we want to talk to a third party, let's mute our mic. Please. Yes, sorry. So we take one of the equations. Remember for good 2, you know, when you are explaining, I make sure that I take even a long part because we are coming from different background. So for quantities, remember, we have this. You don't need to do certain steps once the understanding is there in the exam to save time. I'm always taking the long procedures because I want everyone to get it. So here also we have the supply as -3. These were the original equations if you go back. So it doesn't matter if you want to find the quantity. Remember here I want to find the equilibrium quantity for good one. So it doesn't matter which of these equation you use, you will have the same answer. If you use the demand equation or supply equation, you will have the same answer. But if you looked at it, to me, it will be easier to use the supply equation because it's shorter, not so.
Yeah.
To save time. But any one of them you use, you will have the same answer. So to find the equilibrium quantity for good one, let's use the supply, but we will not use the supply this, we will just state it as equilibrium quantity for good one. So it will be -3 plus 2 times what? The price of good one. And the price of good one is, yes.
4.
Someone call? Sorry?
Yes, now we elimination method, right?
Your
We are now
line,
in the elimination method.
yeah, we are using elimination method. Yeah, we used rather. And I'm not getting you very clearly. Your line is taking or breaking. But yes, we use elimination methods. I hope I answered your question. Okay, so let's continue. So here you have two choices. You either use this first equation or this one. Either anyone you use, you'll arrive at the same answer. But because this one is shorter, I normally use that. You have to save some time. So this will be what? 4. So this 4 here, we will bring it here. That is the P1. So it will equals to -3 plus 8. So our equilibrium quantity for good one will be 5. So it will be 5. We have that. So, but if you decided to use this, obviously it should give you 5. So if you use this and you have different answer, know that something is wrong with your calculation. So it can be used also as a check.
It's the same answer.
Okay, great. I think someone confirmed it. So if we go to good 2, remember our quantity. Oh, okay. Our quantity demanded, good 2, was given to us as 5 plus 2p minus 2p2. And the quantity supplied, I will finish this before, quantity supplied -2 plus 3p2. Someone send a message. Let me try to see. It's Mohammed. Candy Mohammed say mute the mic. I cannot, if I mute my mic, are you talking to me? Because if I mute my, you will not hear me. Or you're talking to a colleague.
Not you, sir. I'm talking to a colleague, not you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please, you are disturbing your fellow, how to call it, colleagues. Let's try to have, I don't know how I will put this without not offending anyone, but let's be considerate, please. All right. So as I said, it depends. If you use the demand function or equation of supply, it will give you the same answer. But I always like to use supply because it's shorter. So equilibrium. Yes.
But why not we use demand one?
Okay, you want to make life difficult for us, right? All right. So someone say let's use demand, no problem. So we are using the first one, just that it takes more time, and that's it. So I gave you that hint because exams time could be a problem. So, but still, if that's what you prefer, still okay because you will arrive at the same answer. So this will be 5 plus, it's here 2 times the price P1, and P1 is what? Is 4, right?
Yeah.
P1 is 4. Then minus 2 times P2. P2 was what? 3.
3.
Exactly. So this will give us 5 plus 8 minus 6. So this will give us what?
10.
Check it very well. So 5 plus 8, 5 plus 8, that is, how to call it, that is 13.
No, the answer is 3.
Exactly. So, no, wait.
Oh, it's not 3.
This is 8. This is 6. This, it should
It's
be
7.
7. 7.
Yeah, 8 minus 6, 2 plus 5.
7. So
You
this
said
should,
minus 10, that's why.
we have this as quantity 2. So if you check it, if you use your supply curve or supply function, you should have the same answer because P2 is what? P2 was 3, right? So this will be 3 times 3, 9, plus minus 2, so it will give you 7. So the same answer. It's a long procedure, but very, very easy, I think. So what we have to do now is to graph it. Sometime I will ask you to graph this. You show me the two markets. So now we have everything that we need to graph except our intercepts, which sometimes is a bit confusing because students try to compare it with what we did before. So before this 40 minutes goes off, if you have any question or you want to add something, or there's even another method that is faster, easier, you want to share with the class, you are welcome. We have 25 people in 24 people, including myself, 25. So is it that everything is well understood? That's why you don't have any question, or you are neutral, you are between?
So,
Mhm.
that's right. I think we once did these 2 problems simultaneously.
Sorry?
We has done something. We did in the beginning. We did something similar like this.
No, we did simultaneous equation without no application. You know, that's why they call this application. First, I have to teach you the mathematical tools. Then we use those tools to apply it in economics.
Okay.
So what we are doing now is the application of simultaneous equation in economics. Application of simultaneous or system of linear equation in economics. So we can use simultaneous equation, that is mathematics, to solve problem like how 2 goods are related. Those 2 goods, that's why they call 2 commodity market model. So that's why they call it single model. You only look at 1 good, supply and demand. But now we are looking at 2 goods. And each of these 2 goods, they have their demand and supply function. That's why we have 4 equations originally. But that 4 equations, we break it down into only 2.
Oh, yes.
So people who have seen higher mathematics, they can go on and use matrix algebra to solve this. But that's not, maybe if you take maths 2 or maths, I don't know, something like that, you might do those things. So now we will go on to graph this. So to graph this also, normally I try to divide. We have 2 market, good one. Yes.
You only have 1 minute.
Can you go back to the question?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the question?
I just wanted to see because I was just